experiencing everything as consciousness during samadhi. 76. The body of the yogi attains very subtle state of the pure Brahman. By causing the body made of the elements to be absorbed in a subtle state in the form of the Paramatman or the Supreme Deity, the body of the yogi gives up its impure corporal state. 77. That alone is the truth underlying all things, which is released from the state of non-sentience and is devoid of impurities. 78. That alone which is of the nature of the absolute consciousness, which is of the character of the attribute I of all beings. The Brahman, the subtlest form of that alone, is the truth underlying all things. 79. The release from the notion that the Brahman is qualified, the delusion about the existence or non-existence of anything apart from the Brahman, which should be annihilated, an experience such as these that remain, that the yogi should know as the Brahman. Simultaneously with the drawing of such knowledge of the form of the Atman, the liberation is attained by him. 80. When such is not the case, only all kinds of absurd and impossible notions arise. The rope serpent and such other absurd notions, brought about by delusion, take their rise. Absurd notions like the notion which men and women have, of silver, in the shell of the pearl oyster, arise. 81. The yogi should realize the oneness of the Visvatman and others up to the Turiya. He should realize the oneness of the microcosm with the Virat Atman and others, up to the Turiya, of the macrocosm, also of the Linga with the Sutratman, of the self with the unmanifested state, of the Atman manifested in oneself with the Atman of consciousness. The Samadhi Yoga. 82. The Kundalini Shakti is like a thread in the lotus. It is resplendent. It is biting with its mouth, the upper end of its body, at the root of the lotus, the Mulakanda or the Muladhara. 83. It is in contact with the whole of Brahmanadi of Sushumna, taking hold of its tail with its mouth. 84. Seated in Padmasana, if a person who has accustomed himself to the contraction of his anus, Mula Bandha, makes the Vayu go upwards with the mind intent on Kumbhaka, the Agni comes to the Swadhisthana flaming, owing to the blowing of Vayu. 85. From the blowing of Vayu and Agni, Kundalini pierces open the Brahm Granthi. It then pierces open the Vishnu Granthi. 86. Then the Kundalini pierces the Rudra Granthi. After that, it pierces all the 6 lotuses or the plexus. Then the Kundalini Shakti is happy with Siva in Sahasradala Kamala, the 1000-petaled lotus. This should be known as the highest avastha or the state. This alone is the giver of final beatitude. Thus ends the first chapter. The Khechri Vidya. 1. Now, then, a description of the science called Khechri. 2. He who has duly mastered this science is freed from old age and death in this world. 3. Knowing this science, O sage, one who is subject to the pains of death, disease and old age, should make his mind firm and practice Khechri. 4. He who has gained a knowledge of the Khechri from books, from the exposition of the meaning of the same, and who has by recourse to its practice, gained a mastery of this science, becomes the destroyer of old age, death and disease, in this world. 5. Such a master, one should approach for shelter. From all points of view, one should look upon him as his guru. 6. The science of Khechri is not easily accessible. Its practice is not easily attainable. Its practice and Melana are not accomplished simultaneously. Literally, Melana is joining. 7. The key to the science of Khechri is kept a profound secret. The secret is revealed by adepts only at initiation. 8. They do not get Melana, who are bent only upon practice. O Brahman, only some get the practice after several births. But, even after 100 births, Melana is not obtained. 9. As a result of having undergone the practice for several births, some yogis get the Melana in some future birth. 10. The yogi attains the Siddhi mentioned in several books, when he gets this Melana from the mouth of the Guru. 11. The state of Siva freed from all rebirth, is achieved when the practitioner gets this Melana from the grasp of the significance presented in the books. 12. This science is, therefore, very difficult to master. Until he gets this science, the ascetic should wander over earth. 13. The ascetic has physical powers or siddhis in his hand the moment he obtains this science. 14. One should therefore regard as Achyuta or Vishnu any person who imparts this melana. He too should be regarded as Achyuta, who gives this science. He who teaches the practice should be regarded as Siva. 15. You have got the science from me. You should not reveal it to others. One who knows this science should practice it with all his efforts. Except to those who deserve it, he should give it to none. 16. One who is able to teach the divine yoga is the Guru. To the place where he lives, one should go. Then, learn from him the science of Khetri. 17. Taught well by him, one should at first practice it carefully. A person will then attain the siddhi of Khetri by means of this science. 18. One becomes the lord of Khecharas or the Devas by joining with Khetri Shakti, viz. Kundalini Shakti, by means of this science of Khetri. He lives amongst them, always. The Khetri Mantra. 19. Khetri contains the bija or the seed letter. Khetri bija is spoken of as Agni encircled with water. It is the abode of the Devas or the Khecharas. The mastery of the Siddhi is obtained by this yoga. 20. The ninth letter or bija of Somansa or the moon face should be pronounced in the reverse order. Then consider it as the supreme and its beginning as fifth. This is said to be Kuta, horns, of the several bhinnas, or parts, of the moon. 21. Through the initiation of a guru, this which tends to the accomplishment of all yogas should be learnt. 22. One who recites this 12 times every day will not get even in sleep that maya or illusion which is born in his body and is the source of all vicious deeds. 23. To the one who recites this 5 lakhs of times with very great care, the science of Khetri will reveal itself. For him, all obstacles vanish. The Devas are pleased. Without doubt, the destruction of the grayness of hair and wrinkles, Valipalita, will take place. 24. One who has acquired the great science should practice it constantly. Otherwise, he will not get any siddhi in the path of Khetri. 25. If in this practice, one does not get this nekta-like science, he should get it in the beginning of Melana and recite it always. Otherwise, one who is without it never gets siddhi. 26. No sooner one gets this science than one should practice it. It is then that one will soon get the siddhi. 27. The 7 syllables Hrim, Bham, Sam, Pam, Fam, Sam and Ksham constitute the Khetri mantra. The cutting of frenum lingui. 28. A knower of the Atman, having drawn out the tongue from the root of the palate, should in accordance with the advice of his guru, clear the impurities of the tongue for 7 days. 29. He should take a sharp, oiled and cleansed knife which resembles the leaf of the plant Snuhi, the milkhedge plant, and should cut for the space of a hair, the frenum lingui. He should powder sandhava or the rock salt and patya or the sea salt and apply it to that place. 30. On the 7th day, he should again cut for the space of a hair. Thus, with great care, he should continue it always, for the span of 6 months. 31. The root of the tongue, fixed with veins, ceases to be in 6 months. Then the yogi who knows timely action should encircle with cloth the tip of the tongue, the abode of Vagishwari or the deity presiding over speech, and should draw it up.